Please welcome Workday co-founder and CEO, Aneel Bhusri, and Workday co-founder and chairman, Dave Duffield.
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome.
Since we last met, we've developed so many new features and functions in the product, delivered in Workday 22 and 23, fabulous releases, updates. We've also listened to you. To date, there are over 1,000 brainstorm features embedded in the Workday product. These brainstorms come directly from you via the community, where you vote or you offer up new ideas, and the peer companies vote positively or negatively on those ideas. Then they all come into our product managers, and they take the ones that are voted best and actually set them up for release or development and release in a prior version of Workday. So we've got more than 1,000 of these today. We thank you very much. You're collaborating with us, and we're making the product that much better because of your feedback. And we can do this brainstorming and collaboration. Why? We're all on the same version of the system. Same version, every one of us. 700 customers today and growing. 7,000 customers tomorrow. Everyone will be on the same version of the system. We call this the power of one. It's a foundation. It's an experience we all share. We are one big community, working with the same version of our product. And there's a lot that we can do via that.
For today, though, I want to focus on analytics, the new frontier. In the past, we've looked at the basic analytics. Describe what happened. You've got all this data. Let's slice it and dice it. Let's take a look back. Then as these analytics got more powerful, we started to predict, well, what could happen? With all the data that you have, with powerful algorithms, what's a good sense of what might happen in the future? But now it's time for version 3, which to me is probably the most transformational thing that is happening in today's world, really since the era of the cloud. What should you do? Really recommend. The system should be able to recommend to you what you should do. And this is really powerful, and this is a lot about what you're going to hear about for the rest of the show. So building on the big data platform that we introduced last year, Dave mentioned that company we acquired, Identified. This is really a special group of people. They both fit wonderfully into the Workday culture, but they brought a skill set and knowledge that we really didn't have. These are brilliant data scientists who understand things like data classification, understand things like complex algorithms and fuzzy logic. They developed a technology called Simon. We applied that technology against our data and our applications and their thinking to build a new series of applications. These are applications that are decision-making applications as opposed to transactional applications, and we're calling these insight applications. I'm really, really excited. I really believe that these insight applications are the future of business software and really are as transformational as what we saw with the emergence of the cloud.
So why is analytics so hard? Well, it turns out that from an engineering perspective, to get analytics right, you actually have to solve 3 distinct problems. You have to get the data, you have to classify that data, and then you have to apply the right algorithms. And it turns out that getting the data and applying the right algorithms, those are hard problems, but they have pretty much known engineering solutions. However, it's data classification that really constitutes the key of the problem. So what we did to solve this problem is that we actually built a data classification engine that we call Simon. And what that data classification engine does is build industry trees. but we have already built 20 different industry trees, supporting 20 different industries. And by the end of 2015, we're going to have 70 different trees serving every single industry in the US. So what I'm about to show you will be doable for every single industry. So what you are seeing now is what we call our retention risk predictive model. What we found is that for this particular company, 1.3 of the top performers were at risk of leaving within the next 12 months. That represented over 120 workers and could result in a replacement cost of over $18 million in that calendar year. So cause for concern. And if we scroll down to the bottom of the page, we can actually see every single employee of the company represented in a performance by retention risk axis. We found that for this particular company, employees that held at least 3 distinct job functions were 30% more likely to stay. So if I want to retain Jack, a good thing will be to suggest a job change and change his job function. And I can ask the system to do that. I can click on Jack, click on job change, suggest a job change, and this is taking me to what we call a career progression tree. This is based on the industry trees that I showed you before.
So think of what you just saw as one example of what we're calling insight applications. And you're going to hear throughout the keynote more examples of what we're currently building that are going to bring the full power of context, robust use of data, recommendation, prediction, tell me what to do, can you guide me?
So you want to be able to tell your users exactly what they need to know. And can we all agree that we don't like to go combing through reports? We don't like to try to figure out what the report is trying to tell us. What we really want is to know if there's any problem. Is it trending up? Is it trending down? How do we compare to others? How do we compare to other organizations? And we want that in the form of an email, an alert, a badge. So to get this kind of goodness in Workday 24, we're introducing a new insight application called scorecarding. And it can do many things. But at its core, it's about establishing metric calculations based on Workday data and data from other systems. It's allowing you to set targets and tolerance levels and determine the best way to visualize that data.
Over the next year, we're going to be paying off on a lot of that cool technology, that cool innovation that Dan and Ade were talking about. And we're going to start to deliver insight applications for financials. Imagine that you could arm your entire operational leadership team around the globe with the critical key performance indicators that they need to run their business. We're also innovating at the core. As Aneel mentioned, we have a very broad, a very rich footprint for financials, everything from core accounting to revenue management to spend management. And this year, we're expanding that core. So I'm excited to stand up here today and say with Workday 25, we will be delivering inventory management as a generally available new product. We're also innovating with regard to projects. So last year, we kicked off a new initiative called Professional Services Automation. And really what we're about is we're about delivering value to any organization that manages projects. It might be internal projects, like IT projects or marketing projects, or it might be client-facing billable projects for all of you professional services organizations. But we think Workday is uniquely positioned to deliver value because we're unified. We're unified across human capital management, project management, time and expense tracking, and financial management. So who better to deliver value to project-based organizations?
And so we're providing a new mobile experience. Yes, we're raising the bar again with a more elegant, a more personal, and a more efficient mobile experience than ever before. Let's take a look. You can see that it's simple, clean, just like the desktop redesign we did earlier this past year. We bring that to the mobile experience. And all these apps just kind of come to life, just like your iOS home screen or your Android home screen. And if you dive into something like My Team, you get a beautiful visualization of a calendar view, where you can swipe to go forward and back for months. You can dive in to see detail, and a beautiful data visualization, just like I was talking about before. Have this data speak to me in some way, shape, or form. I can dive into My Team and get a card view of all my team members, and I can actually take action right here, simply and easily. But it has to go personal to another level. So if you tap one of your apps and hold, it does exactly what you expect. You can actually move these apps to go wherever you want in the interface. You can change the color to suit your need. Do whatever you want to make it your workday, right?
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. That's it. Have a great conference.